Football playoffs begin tonight here in Brooklyn Park. It's the Section 5 Class 5A quarterfinals. The number 6 seed, the Minneapolis Southwest Lakers, and the number 3 seed, the Park Center Pirates. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, what a season for Park Center. It's been a long time since they've had this kind of record. A 6-2 regular season, and now they're looking to prove that they belong and are able to advance.
Well, I think they do belong. I think they've answered that. We've gotten to see them a couple times this year on Channel 12, but I think anytime you have a dynamic quarterback who's also maybe the best player in the state on defense as well, 9 interceptions, 4 of those returned to the house for a touchdown. I think he's one of the best players regardless of class size or whatever, Amani Hooker, as far as best players in the state of Minnesota. So I think they're a lot of fun to watch. They got a ton of talent. And I'm always of the belief I'd rather play, rather than get a bye week. I'd rather get right into it. I think this is going to be a good test for them, build their confidence as they move forward.
Now, there was a little bit of controversy about them getting seated behind Cooper, which means no bye tonight, but Park Center are going to try to use that to their advantage. Southwest, no sugarcoating. It's been a tough season for them. They're 1-7, and the one win was a forfeit. But they've got a very young team. They've been in some games, and they come out here really with nothing to lose. It's an opportunity to come out and do some things well, and they've got a good quarterback too.
I always think that's the scariest matchup when you got a team that's not expected to do anything. They don't have a lot to play for. Like you said, Jay, they have nothing to lose. They got young kids. Who knows? They got a very dynamic, tall, strong-armed quarterback. They get a few things clicking right. This is a game you don't want to mess around with. You don't want to give a team any hope when they're kind of down on their luck. Like you mentioned, their only win was a forfeit. So get on them early and don't let a team like that get them hope, because then they can fight for something.
Park Center, of course, eyeing a possible rematch with Cooper, a team they beat in a heated game in the regular season, and that's the one thing you really hate to do is if you're a team in their spot, is you can't be looking past anyone. You have to respect these guys in the purple and white over here.
I mean, how many times do we see that from every rank, from the NFL all the way down to high school? You're looking past your current opponent and you slip up. This is high school. No one is that much better than anyone else. You have to bring it each and every night. I think they have the right coaching to not let them look past it, and I know they got the right senior leadership that won't let them look past it. And on the flip side, I always thought if people overlook you, or Cooper got seated second, that's kind of a little bit more motivation. So I don't mind that as a player, because I can feed into that, and down the road we use that as fuel. But absolutely, tonight is first. They got to get through tonight, and then you start looking forward.
All right, it's the Lakers and the Pirates as the football playoffs kick off here tonight on 12 Sports. Kickoff coming up in just a moment.
Make sure you guys.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
And welcome back to Park Center. A beautiful night for football. Not exactly a capacity crowd here in this first round game, but the team's ready to do battle here on a nice night. And joining us from the sidelines once again tonight will be Allie Arlt. Let's go down to Allie.
Thanks, guys. Coming into tonight's game with two very lopsided records for these teams, Southwest at 1-7 and Park Center at 6-2. You would think Park Center could kind of rest on their heels a little bit, but their coaching staff told me absolutely not. They said when you do that, that's when you lose games. Coach Strong said, we have to play exactly the way we've been playing all year to win this game tonight. Coach Zoha of Southwest says ball speed, ball control, and speed will be the name of their game tonight, but that he has a young team, so this will definitely be a test for his squad. Guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and kind of an interesting, I don't recall these teams meeting in football at any time since I've been at Channel 12, which is goes back quite a while, and obviously some new rivalries during the regular season with the district scheduling, and then a little bit of Park Center was in Class 4A last year, now into 5A and in a very difficult section. Southwest won the toss but deferred their choice, and they will kick off to begin the game as Luke Langile will kick off, and waiting back deep, Tyshawn Brooks and Amani Hooker for Park Center. Both guys very dangerous as return men. We'll see if the Lakers boot it deep to them or try and keep it away from them as we get set to kick this one off. And it is a good deep kick. Hooker trying to field it on the run. It bounces into the end zone, so it will be a touchback, and Park Center will have the football first and 10 at the 20-yard line on their opening possession with Amani Hooker at quarterback for the Pirates. He has played a little bit of everything and been just outstanding this season, and we got a chance to see him play a lot at quarterback the other week against Benilde, and didn't miss a beat. He looked very good.
Well, just in his ability to avoid defenders, get out of the pocket, and throw on the run. I mean, he's naturally a wide receiver, but he's got a very strong arm. The other thing, too, he's very accurate. Over 66% of his passes are completed, so very accurate, very fun to watch, and a very strong arm.
Here's the first down play. Option to the right. Hooker with the keep. Gets into the Lakers secondary, and Hooker spinning forward out over the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Give him a pickup of 24 on the first play of the game and a first down for the Pirates.
Well, and a nice play, and you can see Osh McCauley, number 11, the outside linebacker for Southwest. He's got a choice. He's got to take that outside pitch man or take the quarterback. Nice little ball fake by Hooker, and he went for it, able to turn the corner. That's a hard play to defend at any level, but especially, Jay, at high school when you don't see the option very often.
Park Center has had some real good top-end guys these last couple of years, but definitely their depth has gotten a lot better, too. And they're definitely not a one- or two-man team. You don't go 6-2 playing the teams they did with, with just Amani Hooker, just a couple of their best guys. There's a look at Paul Strong, the Pirates head coach, after that 5-yard pickup by Tamel Quinn up the middle. So to the 49-yard line here on this opening possession for the Pirates. And Hooker bobbles the snap. And it's going to be Southwest coming up with the early recovery.
And that's what Southwest is going to need tonight, Jay. And you can see sometimes it gets a little cold. You can see Hooker backing out a little bit. The first job of a quarterback, got to secure that ball on that center quarterback exchange. And turnovers and big plays, like we talked about in our pregame, Jay. This isn't a team you want to let hang around. They have, they haven't won a game other than the game that they won via forfeit, but they've been in games and they can score points, and they got talent on their team. They're young, and you just don't want to let a team like this hang around.
Brennan Hawkins has thrown for over 1,100 yards this year, 7 touchdowns for the Lakers. Go with the handoff left side on the opening play for Southwest, and Chris Caland picking up a decent gainer into Park Center territory. Give him about 4 to the 48 of Park Center.
Well, I was so impressed with Park Center against Benilde, their line of scrimmage, the way they dominated it. Look at the size of that hole right there.
Make it Devin Joyce on the carry, my apologies. So Joyce gets 4 on that opening run of the game.
And he came into the game with the leading rusher for the Lakers with over 260 yards. He's a big, physical, strong back.
A little scramble for the football at the end here, but it looks like it'll be possession maintained by Joyce there. Not much of a gain, just a yard on that one for Southwest.
On a high snap, a nice job by Hawkins getting that ball down.
Oh yeah, it did come out. Wow, but then ended up right back with Joyce. Ripped on out of there by Ryan Schnobrick, but then it kind of took a good bounce for the Lakers, and they're fortunate to keep that possession. It definitely was out. I wasn't so sure the first time around. 3rd down and 5 here for Southwest. This time the handoff going to Caland and trying to get to the edge, but well defended by Park Center. It'll get about a half yard or so and it will bring up a 4th down. We'll see what Southwest has in mind on this early possession.
Yeah, and for Southwest, they can take a look at head coach Josh Zoha, and he is in his 3rd season, done a very nice job. They lost a lot of players to graduation last year, Jay, so he's got a young team and really done a nice job with this program. But, you know, after you get a big turnover like that on a young team on the road, haven't had a lot of luck this year, this is where you got to turn this into something. It's 4th down. They're going for it. Let's see if they can get off to a great start, convert the first really big play of the game.
Hawkins setting up a screen, completing it, and it will be enough for the 1st down as he finds Joyce. Nice, just a little slip screen there through the middle, and pretty well designed and well called play there, I'd have to say, for the Lakers.
It was great. And Brendan Hawkins, watch the quarterbacks at home. If you're watching this, it's all about timing. And he made it look like Park Center thought they had a clean rush on it the last second. As a defensive lineman, you got to feel when your offensive lineman's letting you get by you. You got to start yelling screen. You got to identify that excellently. Very, very nice play call and well executed for a 1st down.
From the 40-yard line now. Hawkins trying to get to the edge around the left side. Not going to happen as he is tripped up. Pirates getting up and forcing him here, and then a solid ankle tackle made out here on the edge for Park Center by Ben Stewart.
And Jay, I actually think that was a broken play. I think he meant to hand that ball off. He got a little screwed up and turned around and then just kept it. And that's one thing when you do have a busted play like that as a quarterback, instead of going east and west, you just got to go north and south. Try not to lose any yards. Instead, that was a 5-yard loss. And this offense can't be forced to be put in these kind of holes where they have 2nd and long, 3rd and really long.
2nd and 15 now for Southwest. Hawkins dropping to throw and knocked down. Nice play with the right hand by J. Allen Knocklin there for Park Center.
Well, what Knocklin did, and you work on this every day in practice, watch him get his depth, see him get wide and deep and get right into that passing lane. That's a very popular route, a quick out. And Knocklin does a great job of getting depth and getting in that lane and batting it down.
So 3rd and 15 coming for Southwest on their first possession of the game after recovering a Park Center fumble at midfield. They converted on a 4th down a moment ago, and now seeing a 3rd down and long. Hawkins now flushed out, gets by the first rusher on the run, gonna throw it. And it looks like it'll be complete as he's able to hook up there with McCauley there, but not nearly enough for the 1st down. It's still a decent gainer, though. They get about 10 out of it, and will bring up a 4th and 5.
Well, you can see Hawkins' athleticism, avoids a couple of sacks, gets outside of the pocket, throws on the run, and I like that play. They didn't have to get it all in one. They got a big chunk of it, so now they have a 4th and manageable. You know, when you're 4th and 5, there's many more plays in your playbook that are open rather than 4th and 15. So a nice heads-up play, and Brendan Hawkins, only a junior, but he's playing like a mature quarterback right now.
Showing a little bit of wiggle there to get out of that rush, too, as he kept that play alive. Here we go, another 4th down. Hawkins throwing over the middle, bobbled and caught at the 15-yard line. Another 1st down for the Lakers as Tywan Nash hauls that one in. Looked like for a moment he was going to juggle it and drop it, but he's able to make the catch on a ball that was just slightly high.
Yeah, great concentration, and Nash, I mean, Watson, it's so hard to do, especially when you, in the middle of the field, Jay, as a receiver, you feel like you're going to get hit. For him to keep his eyes on that, and Nash to be able to come down with it. 2 big 4th down conversions, and you couldn't have executed this script any better for Coach Zoha. The Minneapolis Southwest is going right now.
1st and 10 from the Park Center 15. Snap bobble, but Hawkins then picks it up, and then he is immediately dumped to the turf. Did a pretty good job, really, just to keep possession there as he was stuffed on a good form tackle by Terrell Howard.
Well, one thing, too, I mean, you can see the high snap. Nice job at just recovering it. And there, instead of going laterally there, you'd like to see Hawkins turn it upfield to get something positive out of it. But this Pirate defense, Jay, we saw it against Benil. They'll bend. They'll give some yards up, but they seem to really tighten it up once they get into the red zone.
2nd down and 12 now after the short loss there for the Lakers. 4-receiver route. Hawkins firing toward the corner, and boy, Hooker had eyes on jumping that one and taking it back the other way, and Well, it results in an incompletion attempted. Receiver there was Nash.
Well, he's playing free safety, Jay, and he's just watching the quarterback's eyes. Because at this level, most quarterbacks aren't looking you off. So as soon as that quarterback gauges in on the one receiver, he is playing like center field. And he's a ball hawk, offensively and defensively. 9 interceptions, which is just a really high number for one player in one season. So he is a phenomenal. He plays with instinct. He's one of those kids that just has an instinct of where the ball's going to go.
And he, you know, probably as much as anyone, when he's creating a turnover, he's already thinking score at the other end.
Well,
and
of his 9 interceptions, 4 of them have been for touchdown.
3rd and long. Hawkins in trouble, but gets out of the rush from Josh Willay. Now throwing on the run, but it's going to be short hop, and probably a good thing because Hooker was coming up again. If that ball had hung up in the air any longer, it was going to be a difficult completion, but he did a solid job. Boy, I think Josh Willay had a great move, just completely whiffed the offensive lineman there, and but he was unable to bring him down.
What you'd like to see, he's a young quarterback, but when he's rolling out like that, plant his feet, be able to get his arms and his power into that throw rather than throwing as you're running to your left, throwing across your body, not an easy thing to do. Yeah, and then they're going to line up here for a field goal, and I can tell you that I was watching him kick during pregame. He was kicking them from about 45 yards.
Luke Lango on to attempt the field goal. Whoops, we got people jumping on both sides. We'll see what looks like they're signaling defensive penalty here, offside. It will not be enough for a first down, but
enough to help you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not quite such a daunting field goal.
It appears as though the Lakers intend to keep the field goal unit out there and not change their mind and go for it here. It'd be about a 28-yarder, maybe 29 from where he's setting it down. The holder is Levi Wilson. High snap, and that hurts the timing, and the kick is going to be wide left and short. However, a penalty flag late. They have run into the kicker or the holder there, and this drive may not be done yet for Southwest. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Be a first down for Southwest. So
there's Coach Strong, not pleased with that. That's one thing you're taught. You go after the ball, but you do not hit the kicker. You've got to know when you leave your feet like that who you're going into. And football protects the kicker and the holder always. And you can see, too, we've had a few issues with Southwest with their snaps here this evening. A couple of them being high. That's one thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
So it'll be first, well, actually, let's see. Are we? Yeah, first down for
what a big
Southwest. As a turn of events there. The Pirates had held, and then a field goal attempt that was not close. However, the first down and goal to go after the penalty. Hawkins going to run it here, and he is dropped. Josh Willay stops him after a short gain. He wanted to sell that he was throwing it, and then kind of a quarterback draw, but didn't really fool Park Center.
No, and Hawkins, I thought, made the wrong choice there. He cut to his right, and if you look, he had some space and a nice big hole onto his left side between his left guard and left tackle. And he's a strong kid. I mean, he's 6'4", about 200 pounds, so he's a big, strong kid.
Second down and goal here for Southwest. A little under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score on the board. Southwest, the big underdog so far, moving the ball pretty well, and the penalty helped them get another first down. Hawkins throwing, and catch made. Brooks with the tackle there on McCauley, just inside the 5, so they really didn't get a lot on this. Well, they'll spot it at the 3, so about a 3-yard gain.
No, that's a heck of a throw on the run. He had to throw it right on the money. Brooks was sitting right there. And Brooks is a heck of a defensive player, too, and he knows where that ball's going. And he saw his eyes light up because he had nothing but green in front of him, but a nice tight throw. And they got some positive yards, and that's going to take him down to the 3. And you got to figure this is 4-down territory.
It has been the whole time. I don't see why not now. Here's the 3rd and goal play. Hawkins looking out to his left. Rush coming. Now he throws on the run, flipping it toward the back of the end zone for McCauley, but incomplete. That's a tough throw for right-hand quarterback there, and just had to put it on that back line of the end zone, but not much chance as the rush is coming.
You know what I'd like to see? You feel like if Southwest would go not shotgun, if they put Hawkins under center and quarterback sneak from 2 tries from the 3-yard line, you've got to believe a big kid like that would get you 3.
So here we go with a 4th and goal play. Joyce, the single setback for receiver set here for the Lakers. Can PC hold, or will Southwest convert one more time here? And looks like we had a defensive penalty once again here against the Pirates as they jump offside.
Well, that's a huge play because now you got from the 3-yard line down to the 1.5-yard line. And I wonder if this will change their call at all. It doesn't look like it.
That's the one, the question mark among some is, the spread offense. How do you punch it in from the 3 or the 4 2-yard line without much of a ground game? But maybe they'll go back to it, and they do right here, and nothing doing. Not even close as Joyce is stacked up for a loss. And Park Center holds on downs finally after a long drive, though, for Southwest. I mean, yes, they would have loved to get points out of it, but they didn't end up. They did end up beating a lot of the first quarter up. Terrell Howard getting there to make that stop for PC.
But you know what I mean, Jay, and to everyone that's watching at home, if you go shotgun, you're giving the defense a chance for backfield penetration. If you go under center and quarterback sneak that, your momentum is going to carry you forward. You're going to at least get no gain or positive yards. You run out of the shotgun, you give a nice physical, quick defensive line like Park Center a chance to do exactly that.
Hooker drops the ball briefly, but gets it right back, and he'll pick up about 6, maybe 7. Just a slight bobble, but didn't take him long to get turned upfield and going there.
You can see this ball's on the ground again. Luckily, he got a nice bounce. Look at that hand-eye coordination, too, to pick that up, and then bam, that's how quick and explosive he is. But more importantly, for Pirate fans, he's got to figure out that center quarterback exchange because you don't want to keep giving the Southwest chance to recover that.
Especially at this spot on the field. They go shotgun here on 2nd and 3. Hooker keeping now. He'll go with the pitch. Malcolm Richards getting his first carry. Going to be just short of the first down, it looks like. Richards has done a nice job after Rondé Berry got hurt early in that Benilde game we were here for.
Watch number 8, Jake Hansen. You see what a nice job. He stayed outside. He forced the ball carrier to come back to the middle of the field. He made a really nice play. When you're playing that option, you've got to force the ball inside where you got your defensive help and your pursuit drill that you do every day. That was really well executed by Minneapolis Southwest and Jake Hansen, a cornerback, who came up and made a great play.
3rd and a yard, and the snap gets by Hooker again. It's back into the end zone. Amani Hooker picks it up, but he is in trouble. Hooker going to be knocked out of the back of the end zone for a safety. Wow. Southwest on the board first in very unusual fashion.
Well, I want to see, too, if was that snap high or was Hooker just, no, that was pretty, almost right through the hands of Amani Hooker. And then what I thought he was going to do, Jay, was throw that ball away when he was back there. Right here, I thought he was going to keep running and try to throw it away to take an incompletion, but instead wisely picks it up, and at that point, all you can do is take the safety. What a start for Minneapolis Southwest. And, numerous fumbles by Park Center. I know this is not how Coach Strong wanted to come out and talking to his team about not overlooking this opponent and making sure that we take care of, what's in front of us. The old saying, carpe diem, seize the day. We got one game we got to get ready for. We can't look ahead to Cooper. Even though that's a big rivalry and a big game, we got to take care of this. And right now it's 2-0. Minneapolis Southwest, and you couldn't ask for a better start for the Lakers on the road. Young team.
They did a good job of rallying to the ball there, too. I know Hooker, like you said, ultimately probably should have thrown the ball away, but I think when he first picked it up, he was still confident he could make something happen, but he looked up and there was just no escape anymore at that point.
Well, I thought 2 things. 1, Jay, I thought he could have maybe thrown it away. 2, I thought he could have maybe at least gotten out of the end zone. And when he decided to turn and run to his right there, that was great pursuit drill. Minneapolis Southwest done a nice job of tackling and really kind of been helped out, too, by the Pirates' mistakes.
Shong Lee will kick off here from the 20-yard line on this free kick after the safety. So the Lakers get the 2 points, but then they also presumably should get pretty decent field position here. Park Center kind of shooting themselves in the foot with penalties too early in this game. And I'm sure their coaches right now, this is kind of exactly what they feared, you know, not being really mentally ready for the start of this game the way it looks. Fielded at the 35-yard line. Calan coming back and gets into Park Center territory. Gets a block down the sideline and goes out of bounds there at about the 30-yard line. So great field position for the Lakers. Park Center nearly compounded it by tackling them late here, but a good job to pull off at the last moment and not be penalized.
Well, you can see Calan's got nice speed. He gets around to the edge, and that's when, again, a mental mistake by the Pirates. You got to have your outside guys. They have to stay in their lanes. You do not let big plays get to the outside, and Calan just used his speed and turned it upfield, and you know, really giving Park Center a dose of their own medicine. We saw Park Center and Brooks, how effective he is in punt return and kickoff return. And excellent field position again, testing this Pirates defense early here tonight.
35-yard return there to put the Lakers in a good spot at the PC 30. And trouble coming. Ball's knocked loose. It's a fumble and scooped up and headed back the other way for Park Center. Here is Ryan Schnobrick and brought down at the 38-yard line. Hawkins was getting ready to try and pass, but he did not get this one away before Ben Stewart arrived and forced the fumble.
Yep, clean fumble. I was going to say originally maybe his arm was coming through, but it wasn't. And I'll tell you, picking up a fumble for a defensive lineman, it is not an easy thing to do on the run. And Schnobrick does a nice job. See him get down low, making sure he scooped that up and actually tangled with his own guy there. He might have been off even further. So what a big switch, turn of events here as we have another turnover.
Park Center football at the Southwest 40. Hooker working from the shotgun, wants Brooks and has him. Brooks down the sideline, shakes a tackle, puts on a move inside the 10 and almost to the end zone. Just wrapped up and tripped down to the 2-yard line, but given 38. And there's Sean Brooks and his great versatility out there on the outside.
Well, yeah, and originally this ball looked like it was going to be overthrown or maybe just a 5-yard gain. And look at the speed and explosiveness. Look at the quickness. Brooks making 2 or 3 guys miss. And he wanted to get in the end zone there.
Hooker drops to throw, now steps forward, flipping it on the run, and it is complete for the touchdown. This is Kyle Schnobrick, Ryan's brother, hauling it in, and just like that, PC is on the board.
Well, they could strike in a hurry, but how about the Schnobrick family get-together here on this possession? Younger brother Ryan picks up the fumble, returns it, and older brother with the touchdown catch. But how about Amani Hooker that time? Looked like he was going to tuck it down and run. Defense comes up, a heads-up play, and again, a very accurate throw. His 13th passing touchdown of the year.
Park Center lining up to go for 2 here. Hooker, bootleg to the right, now throws on the run and has his man. That's McClure, Elijah McClure, hauling it in.
And here's the touchdown to Schnobrick. And watch this move here. It looks like he's going to tuck it in and run. You see the defense come up and collapse, and at the last second, Amani pulls it back and finds the open Schnobrick. Just a beautiful heads-up play. And we saw this against Benilde. Amani Hooker with a fake, gets outside, breaks, contain. You got to contain him. He's so quick, and he can throw on the run. Just an easy pitch and catch for the 2-point conversion. So it went from 2-0 to the Lakers having great field possession, Jay, to a minute later, 8-2. Park Center back in control.
Some smiles on the faces there for PC finally after not the kind of start that they wanted to see.
I almost think, too, when you play Park Center, they are so explosive with Brooks. You almost have to man him up, and like they do in the NFL, put a safety over the top of him. If you can eliminate his big plays, because he is so electric and so fast when he's able to get the ball in his hands. As a defense, you got to figure out ways to not let him even touch the ball. And as Park Center is known, too, is that they have creative ways to get him the ball, to get him into space, because he's just, I don't know if I've seen a more explosive player, once he gets the ball in his hands.
Lee kicking off, and he will squib it on the ground, but it's going to hop out of bounds. So Southwest will get good field position here as they get the football back. He actually had the ball for a pretty good chunk of that first quarter. They converted 3 fourth downs, ended up just short of the end zone, but ultimately, you know, that drive helped for field position, ultimately led to that safety.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would even risk kicking the ball out of bounds on that. You know, and I think that's one thing Coach Strong, he's going to look back on this, at least the opening, even though they have the lead, just some mental mistakes, you know, some fumbles with the center and the quarterback, a bad snap, kicking the ball out of bounds, a 4th down penalty on the field goal. I mean, just some things that they're going to be able to look back on and take away that, hey, we can get better.
Hawkins handing it off. Wow, Joshua Lay sends Joyce to the turf in rude fashion there after a loss of a couple.
I'm almost thinking he's one of their running backs. He's in the backfield every single play. Well, hey, look at the penetration. I mean, you just can't let a defensive tackle get going like that. And he's strong, and he treated the running back there like a rag doll.
Got that kind of low to the ground squat body, about 5'10", 260, very strong. Difficult guy to block. It was here in preseason, and none of the Pirates O-linemen could fare very well against him either. Here's Hawkins now stepping up, and he'll get a gain, but not a whole lot of a gain, back to about the original line of scrimmage, back to the 35 or so.
Well, and there's really only a couple of ways that you can offset a pass rush like that. One is you run draws, and you run screens, or you run quarterback keepers right up the middle like that. And I'll tell you, you know, the Lakers are going to look back to it. First down, they've not had success. A couple of fumbled snaps, some negative plays. They need to get some better yardage on first down, Jay, so it doesn't leave them in 2nd and 3rd and so long.
3rd down and 10 as we tick toward the end of the first quarter. 20 seconds to go and counting here. Hawkins, pretty good protection, throws over the middle, and it is intercepted. Pass snared there by Peyton Wenzel for Park Center. Down the sideline he goes, and he might get in, reaches, and looks like they're going to spot him just short of the end zone, inside the 1 yard line, and Wenzel with a nice pick there for PC.
Well, that time, Hawkins had time. He didn't get a lot on his throw. The throw was a little high. But Peyton Wenzel doing his best Amani Hooker impersonation. Not only does he intercept it, but he's trying to score. And, you know, this is one of those, if we had a challenge flag, I don't wonder if that wasn't an actual score. We'll see if he stepped out before he gets into the end zone. He looks like he's going to get home. Oh, I'm telling you, Jay, that might have been a touchdown.
Sometimes when you get such a nice return, don't you say, you know,
just give it to him. Yeah, you know, that's, you know.
Obviously, you can't really do that, but.
Well, you know what Park Center does too, Jay? As they turn interceptions, their linemen become blockers instantly, and they're blocking downfield. They're used to it. I mean, they have a lot of interceptions. I think it was 14 interceptions on the year, so they're used to turning these into points.
Power set here. Hooker going to try and sneak it forward, and it is a touchdown. On the last play of the first quarter, Hooker just tucked in behind that offensive line and is able to nudge the ball over the goal line. So Park Center on the final play of the period will get 6.
Well, and I like the play call, and that's what I wish Minneapolis Southwest would have done when they needed a yard. You line up, you quarterback sneak, you don't give the defense a chance to penetrate, and you get positive yards, especially with a big quarterback like Brennan Hawkins. But, you know, smart call by Coach Paul Strong, and a quick 15 points here.
Lee's extra point kick is up, and it is good. And so as the first quarter comes to an end, it is now 15-2 Park Center. Our second quarter is on the way in just a moment.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
Kind of a strange first quarter here. Park Center, quite a few mistakes early on. They put some points together in a hurry here, and now leading 15-2. I'm sure they're hoping that, okay, we settle into a groove. Southwest thinking, let's kind of get back to how we did on that first drive and and move the ball and see if we can get some points on the board ourselves.
Well, what an eventful first quarter. We had a couple of fourth down conversions. We had a missed field goal, but a penalty on it. We had a couple of interceptions, a couple of sacks, some fumbles, a safety. So really had a first quarter full of a lot of adventure, a lot of excitement.
And Lee kicking it very short again, and the ball is bobbled. That might have been what he was more trying to do the first time around, but Southwest will wind up with it.
What do you think of that, Jay? Kicking it short like that, you give them, great field position as opposed to kicking it deep and just trusting your coverage,
It's a little hard to tell if he's doing it on purpose or not. I mean, obviously the first one I think was, but that one, it did appear that he tried to top the ball and see if they could maybe, sometimes too you work on things and maybe say this is a game situation where we can,
for later on.
Yeah, try this in case we need it at the end of a game or something. I don't know. I'm speculating, obviously, right now.
I get that too, but at this point when it's 15-2, I don't think the game's out of question where you're in that mode yet, where you're looking to work on stuff. I think you're still at this point trying to execute your game plan and maybe get a bigger lead. Or maybe they figured they could get a bad bounce or a fumble and get a turnover out of it.
It's going to be a delay of game against Southwest. Their first penalty of the game, kind of an unusual one coming on the start of a drive like this, but the back judge threw that flag, and that's usually what that's going to be, and it is. So 5-yard mark off against the Lakers.
Well, it's a common theme. They go backwards on a first down play. They gotta maintain these second and third down with reasonable yards and distance, so they have their whole playbook.
Hawkins rolling to his left, rush coming, and just unable to hang on to that one for Southwest was Cody Villahong there, as he had it in his fingertips. Pretty good throw considering the rush was closing in on him, but.
Well, watch Hawkins. He running hard to his left. Look at him right as he's about to get hit. He actually gets quite a bit on that and a catchable ball, really. I've been impressed with Brendan Hawkins. His ability, his strength, his ability to get out of situations, to get out of, avoid the rush, throwing on the run. That was a ball that should have been caught and would have been good for a first down. Instead, we're 2nd and 15. They don't got to get it all back here, Jay. Get 7, 8, 9 yards so you have a third down and manageable.
This time he'll roll to the right and slings it, and it is picked off by Amani Hooker. Park Center, 3rd turnover forced already in the game. 1 fumble and 2 interceptions as Hooker snares that one right near midfield, and PC back in business.
It almost is like people aren't even surprised. It almost looked like Hooker was a receiver here for the Lakers. I mean, a perfect throw to him. But did you see him close in on that ball? As soon as that ball was in the air, he closes so fast. And that's an ability, that's an instinct. And, he's certainly no stranger to it, as that's his 10th of the year. And it looks like we're going to have a new quarterback here too, Joe.
Not necessarily a huge surprise. I think Carl Altenberg, we figured we'd get some time. He hits Brooks, and look at him spin away from the defense. Brooks cuts through, just dragged down by an arm tackle, or he would have been gone. He's going to have about a 33-yard pickup as it is. Nice way to start the game, too, for Altenberg. Come in, safe throw out to the outside, and Brooks turns it into something big.
Yeah, nice little 5-yard out, and then just look at Brooks. He knew he was going right to the outside. He just turned it upfield. And a great tackle to save the touchdown. But man, he's explosive, quick, and fast. And you feel like he's going to score every time he touches the ball.
Altenberg looking around, throwing now for Brooks, and he's got it for the touchdown. Good scramble and a good job by Brooks to alter that route and get himself into an open spot. And Altenberg comes in a perfect 2 for 2, both times to a very, very good receiver, Brooks. And just like that, PC's on the board again.
Yeah, and that's Brooks' 11th touchdown reception on the year, so very used to finding that end zone. I thought Altenberg did a nice job here, Jay. Bought a few extra seconds. Look at, he's looking left, comes back, steps up, and then a great job by Brooks, too, maybe recognizing that and making a second move to get open. Beautiful throw and catch. And I tell you, when you're a quarterback and you trust a guy, it makes a big difference because you throw to him, you know he's going to get open, you trust that he's going to catch it, and both quarterbacks certainly do that with Brooks.
Low snap, but Altenberg fields it, fires, and looking for Hooker, but incomplete. Just a little bit to the outside. Tried to make a one-hand grab on that one, but unable to do so as we get a look at our touchdown first.
Yeah, and again, watch him looking left. I mean, you don't see that at the high school. He steps up, feels the rush, throws off the run, and a great job, too, by Brooks by making that second move, getting depth. And here's that pass to the other quarterback, Amani Hooker. And he was open. That ball just a little bit too high and outside.
Altenburg early in the year was, their primary quarterback. He had a little bit of an injury, and obviously Hooker can do the job quite well at that position too. And I kind of expected that we would see. I think that was what they went with last week. Some too is, you'll see a little bit of both guys this week.
You wonder going forward, what's the better lineup? Because Altenburg's got a nice arm. He's comfortable. He's a senior. He's a captain. And all of a sudden now, instead of just having, Brooks on one side, now you have Hooker and Brooks. I mean, you're really probably going to get one-on-one coverage one way or the other. So it's a good problem to have, but it's certainly interesting to see how the Pirates maybe going forward into some closer games, how they're going to use that.
Lee kicks this one straight away and deep, and it goes over the head of the return man there. Caland, you can understand why they thought it was going to be shorter than that, so he was probably wise just to let it go into the end zone and take it at the 20-yard line. But Southwest now fighting uphill, trailing 21-2 after things went, reasonably well for them for most of that first quarter. Now's the time where they have to, not lower their heads, not start to think, here we go again.
No, you mentioned it in the pregame, Jay. You got nothing to lose. You're expected to lose this game. We're young. We're building maybe for something in the future for next year. Let's make some good plays so we can go into the offseason maybe having some confidence and knowing that we can play.
And off to Caland on the sweep to the right, and a good run. He's bouncing off tacklers, and he will be about 2 yards short of a first down. Really their best running play of the early part of this football game.
Yeah, you can see him holding that stomach. He took about 4 or 5 nice licks on that play, but an excellent job. Some great lead blocking by his other running back right there. And look at his power. See him not going down, keeping those legs moving. You like to see that.
And I have a feeling PC defensive coaches in film will be saying there were at least 2 guys there that came and just tried to shoulder block him to the ground. You need to tackle, son, not try to push him over.
And especially when you get to Cooper, or if past that, Spring Lake Park, they have running backs that you've got to be able to bring down.
Hawkins trying to get to the outside. Stiff arm. He is brought down, but he will have enough for the first down. Isaac Mansfield did a good job hanging with him, and Hawkins looks like he may have hurt an ankle or knee on that play as Mansfield tried to drag him down. Oh, that's not good news for Southwest.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like right ankle. Oh, tough break here for Southwest and for Mr. Hawkins.
You can see it's a design quarterback draw there, and he gets to the outside. He has a nice stiff arm. It's an excellent run. Let's see if we can see.
Oh, yep, just rolled onto the back of that ankle.
Jay, I can see knees and I can see shoulders and heads. When I see that ankle turn, as having been someone that's happened to so many times, that's one of the most awful feelings in the world. And great effort, nice run, and first down run. And watch his right ankle get caught up by the Park Center defender right there.
We need water.
All that weight coming down right on as he's trying to plant and take another step.
Well, you know what else? Brendan Hawkins tried to get up, and you respect his toughness. And sometimes it's not about how tough you are. You just hope it was a sprain and not anything more severe than that. It's a painful thing. You can see him. He's not feeling well. It's not a good feeling.
Boy, I have to believe in looking at that replay that we have seen the last of him for tonight. That did not look good. Going to take a quick break here as they tend to Brennan Hawkins, and we certainly hope that he's going to be all right here as the trainers come out to tend him. We'll be right back here to Park Center's Pride Stadium.
An eating disorder feels like having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
Well, here's the part of games that you hate to see a guy get hurt. It was Brennan Hawkins, great competitor for Southwest, and they put a little splint on that ankle, and he'll be heading for some medical treatment. And you know, even just, and not that Park Center, you know, knows much of this team, but even just in this little bit over a quarter, I think he's earned the respect of all the PC guys the way he's been playing out here tonight, and you hate to see that happen to anyone.
No, you do, and I'll tell you what said a lot to me too is Brennan Hawkins knew it happened. He tried to get up and walk it off, and just wasn't able to do it. You respect his toughness, and man, that did not look good. I just certainly hope it's nothing, you know, it's going to keep him out for another year or something that he's able to get back from. So you certainly you hope and pray for him. You love to see good sportsmanship like that. You see some of the Pirates giving him high fives as he's going out. They know, you know, we're all playing this game. We all want to win, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt like that. And certainly hope Brendan's going to be okay. But from a football standpoint now, you know, the Lakers are going to be turned into a sophomore, their backup, Charlie Joyce.
Let's go down to Allie at field level.
Hey guys, when the trainers came over to number 3, you know, they cut off his shoe immediately with scissors, and they've splinted that right ankle, which really means a significant injury, and you can definitely not expect him to come back.
Devin Joyce is going to be the quarterback here for Southwest, and he will carry it forward for about 4 yards on that 1st down and 10 play. He was playing catch with his brother. Charlie was listed as a quarterback, but Devin is the one who was taking that snap. He's obviously been in there as a running back, but playing, you know, maybe a little more experienced guy and everything. See if you have to think this will alter their game plan a little bit and, you know, lean more toward running the ball, but we'll see.
Well, Devin Joyce, their leading rusher, so obviously probably more of a running threat than even Brendan Hawkins was. And we'll see if he has an arm too, if he's able to maybe complete some passes.
Fakes the handoff. Joyce looking for some room, but he is swarmed under as the pursuit catches up to him and brought down by Malcolm Lawson and crew.
Yeah, and you like to see as a running back a nice ball fake. Watch him slow down, Jay, where he doesn't get his speed. You got to make a decision, especially against an athletic front 7 of the Pirates. You can't afford to stutter like that because they're coming at you. You got to just pick away and you got to go. That's your best bet. You slow down like that, you're indecisive. This Pirate front 7 is going to be all over you.
Had a good year defensively too, and obviously, you know, you see the long touchdowns, you see Hooker and Brooks making all these big plays, but been solid on this side of the ball, and not just 1 or 2 guys here either. Here is Joyce, play action, throwing it deep downfield, has a man wide open, and he dropped it. And they're going to call a late hit on Hooker as he lowered the boom on Jake Hansen after he had dropped the ball.
Well, I think we answered the bell. Devin Joyce can throw the football. He threw a beautiful ball, and that hit Jake Hansen right on the hands. Jake's got to catch that one, but unfortunately afterwards, you see this a lot in NFL games where you hit a receiver, they're defenseless, you hit him up high. Yeah. Personal foul. Let's see if he did get him in the head. I thought it was a really well-thrown ball, and that's one that Jake Hansen, I mean, watch this, he couldn't have thrown it any better. Oof.
He took his eye off it because he heard the footsteps, there's no doubt about that, and then Hooker a little late.
Well, that's my question, are they saying it hit him up high, or are they saying it was too late after the incompletion? I'd love to know the clarification on it. That's what you want your safeties to do, is to be in the middle of the field, patrol that middle of the field, instill some fear into the kids. And
that's not allowed anymore in football. I am with you, but
I mean, it didn't look like he lowered his head. It looked like he got him with his shoulder pads. I just don't wonder if it wasn't late after the incompletion.
Yeah. So from the 44 now, 1st down and 10. Joyce in some trouble. Quinn trying to wrap him up. Some piece of his equipment went flying into the backfield there, and it'll be a loss of a couple. That one really was dead from the start.
Yep. I just think, too, against Park Center, you go shotgun, you're giving that front 4 a chance, you know, just an extra second or so to get some penetration. They're too big, quick, fast, athletic for this Laker, you know, front 5. And you want to eliminate that penetration. You got to give your offense a chance. We saw that with Benil too, who had a great running back, a great rushing attack. They ran out of the shotgun, and you just can't get anything going against this Pirate front five.
2nd and 13 now. Joyce juggles it briefly now, throwing it up down the sideline. Wants to go back for Hansen, and they battle for it, and it will be incomplete. Boy, that was a battle all the way down the field, as over there defensively was Rudy Peel for Park Center. Joyce kind of doesn't get over the top on his throws. He's kind of a side armor, and just put that one up there. And I thought for a second, well, he actually did have it briefly, but Peel punched it out of there.
Not a great throw. That ball hung in the air quite a bit, but you know, that's 2 throws right now that Jake Hansen maybe should have caught. So certainly not on Devin Joyce as the backup quarterback come in. He's given his receiver 2 opportunities to make catches.
3rd and 12 now for Southwest. Joyce firing, and it was tipped and really picked. Isaac Mansfield got his hands on it. The throw was a little too high for him to have a real great opportunity at it. So it'll be 4th down and long for Southwest. Earlier they were going for them all, but they're a little different situation. Probably a punting spot here, you would expect.
Yeah, a little bit too high. He had Hansen coming in on a deep crossing pattern. And maybe if that ball would have been about a foot higher or so, it would have been a good looking throw. Looks like they're going to be punting it here.
Joyce is the punter as well. Brooks, the deep man. Hooker, the up man.
And this is where you got to be careful. Do you punt it to him? We've seen what Brooks can do, and he'll pick this one up and go.
On the 15, here's Brooks getting to the edge and then knocked down as he spills out over the 35. Tackled by Ash McCauley there for Southwest. So Park Center will get the football back, leading at 21-2 here, about midway through the 2nd quarter. And unfortunately, if a few moments ago, if you're just joining us, Brennan Hawkins, the Lakers' talented quarterback, went down with what looked to be a pretty severe ankle injury and headed off probably the hospital or urgent care tonight. You know, good news, if there is any, is that he didn't have to leave in an ambulance. It looked like that his parent was going to be driving him to a medical facility, it sounded like. So that part's good. 1st down. Here is Altenberg handing it off, and this one is stuffed. Probably the best defensive play of the night right there for Southwest. Richards will lose about 7, and really none of it his fault. He was under siege right from the get-go here.
Yeah, and that time the Lakers giving the Pirates a dose of their own medicine. You can see, you know, Tyler Phillips is in on that tackle, and just great penetration. And we're still seeing Altenberg at quarterback here.
4 receiver set here, 2nd and 17. Boy, you don't expect on a handoff to lose 7, but that's what happened. Here's Altenberg firing. There's Brooks again. He spins away. Brooks down the sideline, makes a move, and he is gone. 69 yards for the touchdown. Brooks from Altenberg.
Altenberg, 2 easy throws to Brooks for touchdowns, but again, just a little quick out. And as a defensive back, we've seen Brooks go to this move. Watch the quick turn to the outside. You got to contain him, keep him in front of you. Even if you don't bring him down, hold on to him, let your teammates come and tackle him, because if he gets in space, he is just too fast for everybody else. And look at that quick move. Keep your guy in front of you. It's very, very easy to say, maybe a little bit harder to do.
Couple of those spins, he's been, I mean, they haven't been close enough to really have much of a chance at him. He's just left them in the dust immediately. Lee's kick is up and good, and you felt there for the safety coming over. He's got the entire width of the field to try and cut him off here, and it was Brooks. He did at least get over to force him back, but look at how much area he has to defend. There's no way he's going to stop him there.
Well, you got to at least contain him to that sideline. Use the sideline as your friend. At that point, you know, and the other thing is you got to take good angles right here. And you got to break down. It's back to basics. Get good balance. You know he's quick. You know he's going to make moves. And I was always taught too, Jay, that you watch the belly button. They can't juke you from the belly button. If you watch their head, their shoulders, their feet, and he's one of the best as far as making moves. But,
it wasn't worth.
I just think too, when you close on him, you got to close with care, with balance, and perfect technique, because he is so quick, so explosive.
Unofficially 4 catches for 158 already tonight for Brooks and 2 TDs.
That's not a bad season for a lot of kids in high school, much less a bad, really just a quarter. I mean, he's done that in about half a quarter here.
28-2 now, Park Center, as Lee gets set to kick it off here. in the officials meeting right now. I'm not entirely sure what.
I can tell you, you know, the great thing about football is a few minutes ago, Jay, it was 2-0. Southwest had the ball. We thought, what's going on with Park Center? And all of a sudden, it's 28-2. Your quarterback went injured, just like that.
All right, we have an injury to an official. That's what they got the trainer working on an official, and what the remaining officials are discussing is there's no substitute. We just go with us four now and go over, you know, what our responsibilities, how they change with one less person out there. That's something that, you know, is worked on, is talked about. It is part of official training that, you know, here's the responsibilities and how they change if there should be an injury or if someone doesn't make it there because of traffic or whatnot. So Lee will kick it off. And it's bobbled a little bit there. McCauley picks it up and trying to fight his way out of a tackle. Pirates trying to wrap that ball up. And they will drag him down just over the 20-yard line. Southwest gets the football back, and Kobe Edwards out there giving a Laker a good blast. That was at the end of that play.
Well, there's two things when you bring in a backup quarterback against, you know, Park Center's defense. One, you got that front four that's going to be pinning their ears down trying to get to the quarterback. And two, you have arguably the best defensive back in Amani Hooker, who's going to be eyeing that football, going after the ball, trying to get another interception. Got to be very careful right here for Southwest.
From the 21, Joyce handing it off. Calander will go nowhere. No gain on that first down play. Thought it was interesting. Jason Malillo from our staff did a nice story on Amani Hooker, and he said defense is his favorite. He prefers it to playing on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and that's where he's going to play in college too. And I was always the same way. I played a lot of offense, and there's just something about holding other people, intercepting the ball, going to hit people, and just that feeling. It's a different mentality, and you either have it or you don't. And as great as he is on offense, I almost agree. I think he's almost a better defender, the way he closes on that ball, his instincts, and he's a very good tackler as well.
Play action here. Joyce looking to throw. Now rolling right. It throws on the run, and the ball is...
Oh, I thought it was caught.
Yeah, I thought so at first, too. Boy, Brooks tried to take that one away as he closed quick there on McCauley. But it will result in an incompletion here in 3rd down and long.
Well, Devin Joyce, nice job too, avoiding some of the pressure. Scrambles to his right, throws on the run, throws a strike. Man, it almost looked like that was caught for about a step or so, and then just not quite completing it. So sets up a 3rd and 10. And again, you got to be very careful. That ball's in the air. You got defensive backs that are going to be flying after it.
3rd and long here for Southwest, who were hanging around pretty good for most of the first quarter, but now it started to get away from them here. Now their quarterback obviously got hurt as well. Here's a high throw, and eyeing an interception there for PC was Elijah Mathis, but it's over his head and over the receiver's head. It'll be 4th down for the Lakers.
Well, and I actually thought they had Cody Villahong here on a wheel route to your left, and the ball actually was pretty well thrown. If Cody would have kept running instead of stopping to jump there, I think that would have hit him right in the hands. He was worried about the interception, maybe trying to break that up, whereas if he would have just taken a few more steps, that ball would have been a really, really nicely thrown ball. You know, that's, when you go for interceptions, Jay, if you miss, you gamble, you know, you can give up big plays like that.
Receivers, coaches everywhere are saying, I agree with you 100%, Ryan. You have to run your route and continue to run it. Punt, bouncing away. Brooks trying to field it, and it's just going to end up going out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So they've done a pretty good job of kicking it away from him here. 5:10 to go in this first half, 28-2 Park Center. And we'll see if they can put together another drive or two here, and then for their sake, hoping to get their starters out, I'm guessing.
Yep. And that does too. When you see an injury like that, I think it kind of makes you a little bit more sensitive to that fact that, hey, we don't want to get guys hurt. You know, this game maybe already is in doubt. Let's run a couple more series. Let's be sharp. Let's execute, and then let's enjoy the second half from the sideline.
Altenberg throwing and incomplete. Throw just a touch low, and then receiver Schnobrick was hit there by Levi Wilson as he tried to pull that one in. So first incompletion for Altenberg, and a lot of them have been the similar type routes. Earlier getting it to Brooks and just letting him do his thing with the run after catch. Brooks not in there right at the moment. Altenberg handing it off. Richards, a big hole to run through here. Now bounces away. Richards still on his feet down the sideline, trying to tiptoe, and the last guy will get him as he's down to the 28-yard line. 31-yard run right there for Richards, even though I don't think he necessarily made the right cut right there. If he had, well, ends up, credit for staying with his blockers. I thought he maybe made a little,
cut back inside,
exactly. But
well, he did a little stutter step, still able to get outside. If you're Southwest, use the sideline as your friend. Push him out of bounds. We've seen Brooks tiptoe on the sideline. That time we see Richards tiptoeing up the sideline. Use the sideline. We were always taught as a defender, use that as your friend, as another tackler. Just push him out of bounds. You don't have to make the tackle, but get him out of bounds.
From the 28 of Southwest, Altenberg fakes the handoff, throwing deep down the middle for Hooker. It was behind him and incomplete, and almost an interceptable ball there, but Wilson didn't realize that it was coming where it was. Boy, Hooker ran, he was there. It was just a little bit behind him.
Yeah, nice fake. You see him, the play action there. The linebackers come up, a nice passing alley, and Hooker had the step there. You just got to lead him into that throw.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them come back to that, if not immediately, then shortly later on this drive. Fakes the handoff. Altenberg now showing he can run a little bit too. Gets a block from Hooker and steps out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and it'll be first down and goal to go. About a 19-yard pickup from Altenberg. That's not, the first thing that comes to mind with him usually, but he's got some quickness himself right there.
Well, watch him. You see the rush coming from the outside. Look at him just explode. Nice little move up the seam there and showing some nice speed, some good athleticism. That's when I think Park Center is really tough to stop, when they have a little bit of balance, when they're able to run the football. All of a sudden you get focused on that, and that's when they hit you with their big play guys at the wide receiver.
From the 8, first and goal. Altenberg looking, he's hit as he throws, and it floats out there incomplete. McClure and Hooker were both over there, but the rush arrived just as Carl was about to let that ball go, and Park Center probably fortunate that all it ended up as is an incompletion there, because that ball just kind of floated.
And that time they went under center rather than out of the shotgun. You can see Altenberg not able to complete his motion. That ball hung in the air. Yeah, and lucky for the Pirates, or that would have been a pick 6.
Second and goal now for Park Center. Well, with the handoff, Richards trying to squeeze out of that tackle. He'll be down to the 5, so about a 3-yard gain there. As good job by McCauley to hang on to him there. Otherwise, that was probably going to be a touchdown if he's not stopped right there. McCauley was up a little too high there, but he at least did a good job of holding on.
Well, and again, you're seeing too, Jay, the high snaps, and it's thrown some of the timing of these handoffs off. So that's one thing you're going to have to address. Got to get that snap low.
Third and goal here. Altenberg throwing out in the flat, looking for Hooker. And might this be a lateral, or is it just incomplete? I don't think I saw a signal right away of an incompletion. So there's a chance they may lose some yards on this if this was a lateral. No, looks like it's going to be incomplete.
And that's one of those things, as an offense and as a defense, you got to coach them, your players, on that. If that ball's, behind the line of scrimmage, it's a live ball. How many times have we seen where the offense quits and the defense picks it up and able to go the other way? But that one went out of bounds. They're going to call it incomplete.
Hooker back at quarterback now. This will be a 4th down and goal play from the 5 here for Park Center. Hooker fakes the handoff, sprinting out to the left, tucks it to run. It reaches for the pylon, and he did not quite make it. Out of bounds at the 1, and Southwest will take over on downs.
What an effort. I thought there was nowhere for Amani Hooker to go. And just look at his footwork here and his power. Great handoff. He gets to the outside right here. I didn't think there was anywhere for him to go. Great stutter step. Wow, I don't know how that's not a touchdown, Jay. It looks like, unless we see him go out of bounds, he dove and reached that. Again, if we had the red challenge flag at this level, I think you'd see it out on the field.
Now Southwest, you're thrilled to get the stop. You're not as thrilled to be snapping from your own one with a backup quarterback, though. Joyce is going to throw out of the end zone and into traffic. It's incomplete as he tried to get that one to land there, but it'll be an incompletion.
That is a scary play to run a screen out of your own end zone. And you can see about 4 green jerseys there. They snuffed that one out.
Mansfield getting a piece of it there, and yeah, that one didn't develop the way they were hoping, that's for sure.
Well, what they have to be careful is if they do run the football out of that shotgun formation, we've seen a number of times Park Center able to get penetration into the backfield. You certainly don't want to allow that.
2nd and 10. Park Center earlier gave up a safety after having to chase a snap down, and now Joyce again will look to throw out of the end zone. Now steps up, and he does get out of the end zone to about the 2.5. Josh Willay on the stop there. And it looked a little dicey for a moment there for Joyce, but he at least is able to advance it a little bit.
How great has Josh Willay been here tonight, Jay? I mean, it seems like every play he's in the backfield. If he's not making the tackle or making a sack, he's disrupting it, forcing the quarterback to throw before he's ready, or getting a tackle for loss. So he's had a phenomenal game. I think he's going to be a huge part of their success going forward if they're going to have a chance to come out of this district.
So 3rd and 9 here for Southwest. Not out of trouble yet, that's for sure. Joyce looking to throw again, and it flutters. It's up for grabs, and it is intercepted by Brooks. Down the sideline he goes, and he's in for the touchdown. Wow. Brooks, his 3rd straight touchdown. This one a little different than the other 2. He wins the tug of war for the football and then takes it out in for the score.
Well, that ball seemed to hang in the air for quite a while. You could see that ball just floating in the air. It looked like both players had it, and then I think some of the Southwest players thought that Brooks' knee had touched or he went down. And instead they forgot he's lightning wrapped up in a bottle here. He just explodes into the end zone. He can hurt you in so many different ways, Jay. Just get him the ball. However that may be, get him the ball. He'll make big plays happen.
I was going to say, too, I give credit to that official nearest that for not blowing it dead, because I have to admit, I, too, like you said, I thought he was going down or was down. And this kick is going to be no good on the extra point try, but what a play by Brooks. I mean, the 69-yard touchdown was awful exciting. This one doesn't cover as many yardage. It's a 20-yard return, but in its own way, it might have been just as exciting.
And you can see they're just battling for it. Brooks takes it away, keeps his knee off the ground, and then just sprints to that pylon, and both feet and the ball are crossed. Wow. You know, and to the Lakers' credit, too, I mean, Devin Joyce is not their normal quarterback, so that's not, you know, he's certainly doing the best he can, but that ball is hanging in the air too long, especially when you have, it's like sharks and you know, blood in the water with these defensive backs. That ball's in the air, they are a magnet to it, so you've got to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more careful, you know, on your velocity, on your trajectory of your passes.
Lee getting set to kick off here for Park Center as the lead is now growing to 34-2. Southwest really hasn't had much chance on returns. They've been a kick out of bounds, a kick short. This one will be returnable, but muffed. And chasing it down, boy, he kind of was slow to get to it. And out over the 15, there goes Kalan.
Yeah, you'd like to see a little bit more sense of urgency out of your returner. When that ball's loose on the ground, you want to have an urgency. He almost didn't pick that up, but now he's going to be on the ground with some type of injury as well.
I think he was trying to keep himself calm and not panic and, you know, run up and kick the ball or something. But yeah, it did take him a while to find it again here.
I mean, he's lucky that the Pirates didn't beat him down to that ball. You can look at the Pirates trying to rip that ball out of his hands.
And so another injury here is going to slow the pace a little bit here. And Caland stayed on his stomach here the whole time. Not harder to tell. You know, obviously when we saw Hawkins, exactly what happened to him. This one was a little bit harder to spot. Fortunately, the trainer's been kept busy, a couple of players, and then the official as well. They get about 3 or 4 guys on him at the end here and trying to rip it free. We'll see if we are able to detect. It's kind of in the middle of a stack there and hard to see exactly what's going on.
You don't wonder if it wasn't a shoulder there or if he landed on the ball. Sometimes you get all that weight on top of you. You can get the wind knocked out of you.
I was going to say it appeared, I mean, he's obviously in pain, but it did not appear that his leg was twisted or caught underneath people like you kind of fear in those little pile-ups like that. But he is obviously not. It does appear they're working more, you know, ribs or midsection area. We're going to take a quick time out here as they tend to the injured player. We'll be back to Park Center High School in just a moment. You're watching Section 5, Class 5A football quarterfinals here on 12 Sports.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
And welcome back here as Chris Caland being helped off for Southwest, and another injury. Hate to see that, but Lakers will have the football 1st and 10 on their 18. 2:30 to go in the first half. Park Center now up 34-2. Looking left and now stepping up. Brooks comes up and makes the stop that time on Devin Joyce.
Rudy Peel did a nice job too, number 31, coming from his cornerback spot, and really just nowhere to go for Devin Joyce. He dropped back, he felt the pressure, he avoided the rush, and there's just nowhere to go against this Pirate defense.
Yeah, Peel, I think, in that stop, not Brooks. My apologies, I saw the one only. So 2nd down and 9 coming here for Southwest.
Well, Jay, most of the big plays have been Brooks, so you're safe to say Brooks in most of the plays.
Joyce with some pressure coming. Oh, he avoids Malcolm Lawson. Now going to throw it on the run, and he has the completion.
Well,
Park Center converging there on McCauley, but they will get a 1st down out of it, out to about the 37. Boy, Lawson thought he had him all lined up and ready to bury him for a big sack, and he avoided him.
Well, then I thought he was going to get him coming back, and he slipped. But a nice job by Devin Joyce avoiding the rush, stepping up, and then I thought he was going to run it. Instead, he had the wherewithal to look downfield, and a nice throw and catch.
Even on the replay, it's a little hard to see how Lawson really missed him. I think he wanted to light him up rather than just tackle him.
When he was standing straight up too. Remember, you always want to have that good base, good balance, so that the guy you're trying to tackle moves, you're in good position to do so.
Want a little flanker screen there. Ball juggled the catch, but does he still have possession? I think Southwest is fortunate that his forward progress was stopped there, because Hansen was very much in danger of losing this football.
I like the quick throw right there for your backup quarterback, but look at that ball, and then watch the Park Center sees that ball loose. I mean, they just swarm the football, and they love getting takeaways. And, I like the play call, though. A little quick throw. They didn't get any forward progress, Jay. They're going to give them a loss of about 4 yards on that play.
Yeah, because when the ball started to become juggling, you can't really blow it dead at that point. So I think it was Mansfield who got in there with the kind of the form tackle at him wrapped up, and Hansen, he knew the ball was coming out. He was trying his best to get it back and also protect himself from that swarm of guys in green.
Stay back.
Well, if I'm Southwest, you know, there's 42 seconds left. What I don't want to do is give the ball back to this Pirate team. I don't want to, if I am going to punt, I don't want to give, you know, Brooks a chance to make a big play in special teams. So I think I run the football, make them use their timeouts, and no big plays, no ball hanging in the air where you give this Park Center defense a chance to intercept it and create another turnover.
2nd and 13, 3 receivers right, 2 to the left here for Joyce. Empty backfield. And quarterback draw, and he's got quite a bit of room. And a nice run, nice form tackle by Hooker, but he looks like he'll pick up the first down. Just crossing the 47-yard line. Nice run, nice design on that one.
Yeah, it was. And you see how Joyce planted, like he was throwing that quick throw to his right, and the defensive lane opened up, no one in the middle. And there's Armani Hooker coming in, doing a great job of form tackling. You know, Devin Joyce isn't a small kid. He's a big, strong kid. That was a nice tackle in open field in space.
Down to 20 seconds to go here. Neither team looking like they're going to try and stop the clock here. Joyce throwing down the middle and batted away by Mansfield. Ball was a little bit behind its intended target, Hansen, anyway, so bring up 2nd and long here with 12 seconds to go.
Hey, we were about to fight. I was like, no. Ryan, give me the quarterback. Man, get a sack.
So 2nd down and 10 as Joyce directing things here for the Lakers. Could be down to our final play here, perhaps, depending on the result of this one. Joyce looking to throw, and instead he is buried. Lawson and Millay both get there. They kind of met at the quarterback, and they will make the sack. And looks like we had a timeout taken by Park Center. Why?
Well, I think that time Malcolm Lawson, number 62, he got his payback for his Ole that he had a few plays back where he missed a nice sack opportunity. That time him and Willay did a nice job convening. They had a quarterback sandwich, and Devin Joyce was in the middle of it.
The 3rd and very long coming up here for Southwest after timeout taken here by PC.
Well, I know, you know, Hooker and Brooks, you get a lot of the credit with their interceptions, but I really believe great defenses and a lot of interceptions are the result of having good secondary, but it's also the result of getting a good pass rush. You force these quarterbacks maybe to throw it a second or two before they want to, and it gives these defensive backs a chance to read it and go play the football. So it really goes hand in hand, and I've been really impressed with Willay and with Malcolm Lawson and Ben Stewart playing defensive end. They've done a nice job of getting good pressure on the quarterback tonight. Ryan Schnobrook as well.
Yeah, he had that fumble recovery earlier in the game. Here's a handoff to the edge and knocked out of bounds, but time is going to run out as the first half comes to an end on that sweep for Nash. And so our halftime score, 34-2. Definitely a slow start for PC. They were not looking extremely sharp early on, but just making some big plays late in the first quarter and then throughout the second. Brooks, 2 touchdown receptions and a 20-yard interception return as well for Park Center, and they have kind of started to put the clamps down like we expected in this game.
Well, he really was the ignition. I mean, 2-0, nothing really going right for Park Center. They threw that quick out to him, and he turned it into about 35 yards, and that kind of sparked him. Had the touchdown catch, and then it was off to the races from there. I mean, Southwest couldn't have asked for a better start to the game, getting the safety, getting good field possession, and then, of course, having a devastating injury to the quarterback, Brennan Hawkins. I think really kind of not only for him is it poor, but I think it kind of sucks the momentum or any type of enthusiasm you might have. And from there, it really just spiraled into a 34-2 game.
Yeah, that's been the only real downfalls we have had. A couple of, what seemed to be at least somewhat serious injuries, particularly Brennan Hawkins. Obviously his was quite serious, and we even lost an official, which you don't see every day, a little hamstring issue. Yeah, so that part of it hasn't, and that's the thing you start to worry about too when you get a big lead like this or a big deficit. Is there, you want to get out of the game with as few injuries as possible for the team that's going to advance in particular here. But
you don't think about it. When you start thinking about not getting injured, that's when you get injured.
Exactly.
You got to tell these kids, whoever is playing, you're playing full speed and you're playing hard, because when you start slowing down, you start trying not to get injured. That seems to always be when you do get injured.
Yeah, and it's really too hard to predict. I mean, even you're talking about NFL preseason, do you play a guy or not? Well, an injury could happen any play out there. Let's go down to Allie.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, you were 2 for 3 on 4th down conversions in that first half. What's kind of behind that mindset to go for it on 4th down rather than punt?
Leave it all on the field at this point. There's not much more you can do. And you got the seniors last game and score 34-2, and just try to do what you can to stay in the game and play.
How much does losing Hawkins alter your game plan, if at all?
It does quite a bit. As we move Devin, our sophomore running back, he becomes the quarterback. His cousin is the backup quarterback as well, so we're going to get him warmed up, and they'll both be in the backfield.
All right, all in the family in the second half.
Absolutely, both sophomores.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thanks, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, and I'm sorry I jumped the gun and thought they were brothers' cousins. It is for the Joyces. So we'll be back with more of our coverage here of Park Center versus Southwest football, Section 5, 5A playoffs here on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
And welcome back. Opening night of football playoffs here on 12 Sports. Park Center dominating, leading Southwest 34-2 here in Section 5, 5A as we check out some first half highlights. And it was a very eventful and kind of strange first half. Juggling catch made there for Southwest early on in the game when Hawkins was still in there at quarterback. And then he throws a nice completion here down deep into Park Center territory after they converted on 4th a couple times. Then Park Center hooker took his eye off the snap, chases it down in the end zone, but has nowhere to go. So Southwest actually had the lead in this game. You forget that now late, but
nothing.
And then a little pass out in the flat, and
I thought that play, Jay, is really what got them jump started.
Yep.
They hadn't done anything on offense. A couple of fumbles, a safety, and then it led to a beautiful touchdown pass.
Got it to Kyle Schnobrick there to hooker when it looked like he might tuck it and run, and then nice interception over the middle grab there for PC by Wemsel. Returns this one to about as close to the goal line as you can get without being in there. He's called out of bounds at the 1. Hooker sneaks it in from there. And that was in the final play of the first quarter. Then in the second, Carl Altenberg came off the bench at quarterback, and he had a good idea. How about I throw to number 1 a couple times here? Got that one for a touchdown to Brooks on an 18-yard pass. And then a much bigger one here, spinning to the outside. Brooks shook a tackle, cuts to the middle, and 69 yards later, he walks into the end zone for the touchdown.
So I think at one point, wasn't Altenberg 2 for 2 with 2 touchdowns to both to Brooks?
And speaking of Brooks, Rush really got there. He rips this ball away, stays on his feet, and just gets to the end zone here. Actually looked like Willay might have been the guy who knocked him out at the end, but it was a touchdown, so a 20-yard return there for Brooks. See Park Center dominating statistically here, and obviously for Southwest they were in it for a tall order anyway, but losing your pretty good quarterback, that doesn't help.
No, and then not only do you lose your quarterback, but you also in essence lose your best running back because he's forced to go to quarterback, so his mindset is completely different. You know, but I thought the game started just how they wanted, just what we talked about. Park Center off to a slow start, a couple of fumbles, the safety. Minneapolis Southwest was driving, unable to score, and then just like a light turning on, before you knew it, it was 15-2 at the end of the first quarter, and Park Center really just not taking their foot off the gas.
We'll be back with more of our halftime and then our second half of football here on 12 Sports. Park Center 34, Southwest 2 is our score.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
And welcome back here to Park Center High School as the Pirates building a 34-2 lead at halftime here on the Lakers from Southwest High School in Minneapolis, and certainly an explosive second quarter, especially for Park Center, kind of giving them a comfortable lead. But you know, coaches are never really comfortable. We're going to hear from Allie with Coach Strong and see what he has to say about that first half.
All right, Coach, we're going to set aside the score for just a second. And there are quite a few penalties that you guys had in that first half. What was going on there?
A little amped up, but we told them to settle down, and it was like this yesterday in practice. So we expected it. We had fumble snap at practice yesterday, and so the kids know I always tell them we're going to play like we practice. And so when that happened, I just reminded them that's how we started yesterday, and just clean it up, and we'll be all right.
Back to the score. When you're up by this big of a lead, do you have anything that you do differently in the second that you prepare for as you guys will probably move forward?
No, we're going to just do what we do. And I just told the kids, you know, we're going to keep playing hard. And you know, if you get a chance to make plays, we're going to make plays. We're going to put points on the board. You know, in this game of football, we've been up before and end up losing the game at second half because we got lazy. So they're going to come out ready to play, and I know their coach is going to encourage them and tell them, hey, you know, we got to show up. So we just told our kids we got to finish.
All right, Coach Strong, good luck in the second.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allie and Coach Strong. I mean, obviously it's a good problem to have this kind of a lead, but at the same time, you know, you're not too comfortable with things. You don't want to get bad habits going or anything like that. I mean, I think ideally for Park Center would be, let's maybe score once more, you know, play the starters for half the third quarter, something like that, and then see if we can go to the backups.
Well, I think anytime you start a new half, there's always that hope. And I think if you're Coach Strong, you're telling your guys, you know, let's squash that hope. Let's get up, maybe one more score, and then let's get our subs in and get some guys, you know, ready to go in case of injury, guys that maybe don't get a lot of playing time.
And that's what coaches look for too, is you know, ability-wise, you're probably going to have some drop-off, no doubt, but you still want to see, you know, if your second group comes in, you want to see them execute without having penalties, without having guys lining up wrong, things like that. And those are the things that, you know, you build for. Guys, there might be, you know, a 10th grader that right now isn't seeing the field a ton, but by 2 years from now, he's going to be a key player, and this can be a valuable experience for those kind of guys, really on both teams tonight too.
Well, and the other thing too, even though it's a blowout, it's the second half, it's still a big stage for these guys, and these guys who have been practicing for the last year, this is a big stage for them. So you want to see how does that energy, how does that practice translate onto the big stage? And like you said, you know, we had a guy at Eden Prairie that was a 9th grader that got called up. He got into a couple of games when we were up big when I was playing, and you know, he got an interception. The confidence it gave him in the offseason to be like, I had an interception on the varsity level. I'm going to work even harder because I can do this. And he ended up becoming an all-state player. So I think you derive and you're building confidence, and you're also looking at, you never know, maybe a guy that hasn't gotten an opportunity is ready to go.
Let's go back down to Allie now for an injury update.
Hey guys, before the half we saw Chris Collin, number 33 for Southwest, get injured. I talked to him at halftime. He was icing his abdomen. I asked him if he was going to return, and through a lot of pain, he said yes. So you can possibly expect to see him here in the second half.
Thanks very much. It will be Park Center kicking off to begin our second half here, so the Lakers at least will get the football first. As Lee will put his foot to it here for PC. And drifting back to field it is Joyce, and he's going to want to throw it back, a lateral across the field. Makes the first guy miss, and then a nice tackle coming from behind there for Park Center was Mathis, as he's able to get the stop on McCauley there. So kind of a little trickery there, and not too poorly executed by Southwest.
Bizarre play. Watch it. Well, you see number 20 for Minneapolis Southwest. It almost looked like he was going to make the tackle. And before we had the throwback, it looked like a Park Center defender could have tackled whoever was throwing it. So kind of a bizarre play, but that's what you got to be careful for. That's what you got to watch is trick plays. Don't let anything get behind you. It looks like Park Center is going to start their #1 defense here. Start the second half.
23-yard line is where Joyce and company will start it here for Southwest. Fakes the handoff, and Josh Willay will come and drop him. He was almost going to try and rip the football out too, and instead settled for a physical stop there and a loss of 3.
I'll tell you what, he's a big kid. Josh Willay is, he's 5'10", 260, but man, is he quick. I'm watching his initial moves. He's almost going unblocked here. He's stepping one way, he either bull rushes or he just does a quick slant around the guy that's trying to block him. He's got great footwork, and he's had a really dominant football game here tonight.
So a 2nd and 13 here for the Lakers. Play action, this one thrown up in the air, and it almost intercepted. As Wenzel had a pick earlier in the game, he just about had this one, but the receiver kind of turned into a defender there and was able to rake it out of there at the last second. This one, he really just kind of flings it up.
Well, that ball's just hanging in the air way too long, almost looks like a punt. And a nice job by Jake Hansen becoming a defensive back there, stripping it away. Those balls just have to have better trajectory, especially against this secondary who loves, you've got to have a better throw. But again, it's their backup quarterback, so you give him credit for trying to make plays.
At first glance, you'd almost call it a drop on Wenzel, but it really was Hansen getting his hand right on the ball to rip it out of there. So 3rd and long here for Southwest. Joyce stepping through the rush, throws over the middle, complete, and Hooker delivering a blow there, knocking McCauley down. Let's see where they'll spot this. It's going to be probably enough for the first down, it would appear.
Yeah, I think they got it. Nice job, a great job by Devin Joyce stepping up. This is what you love to see, quarterbacks stepping up. And actually he was very close to going across the line of scrimmage when he threw that. And again, Amani Hooker delivered a nice blow, but a great job by McCauley holding onto that football. Big first down. And you don't want to start the second half after you're getting beat pretty handily. You don't want to go 3 and out. So a nice job completing that first down, keeping the chains moving.
I think Hooker was careful there to keep that hit shoulder to shoulder.
He was called for that one in the first half. Yep. You're right.
From the 34, quarterback draw, and Joyce wrapped up and not quite back to the line of scrimmage there. Not really fooling him. We're able to sell the fake enough. Terrell Howard able to wrap him up and bring him down.
Joyce had a nice, that same play in the first half where he had a nice carry. He's got to sell it just a little bit more, get that pass rush up the field so that when he steps up, there's a nice big pocket in the middle of the field. Give your receivers time to run those linebackers and safeties off the football. That's how that play's effective.
Yeah, you really want to use the front four's aggression against them by having them run by you if possible, but a pretty solid job of staying in their lanes there. So 2nd and 11 now for Southwest. Joyce turns and pitches, and back in there, as Ali said. As Calland coming back into the game, even though he went out with what appeared to be a very painful injury to his abdomen, and he will lose yardage on that one though.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. Kind of a weird play to start. The timing, you can see Calland almost losing the football.
I'm not so sure he wasn't thinking of throwing.
Yeah, it's a good point. But Brooks was in there too fast. He did a nice job of setting that edge, and then our guy Josh Willay running him down from the interior. He's all over the place. We always talk about defensive linemen having a motor, and Josh Willay certainly has a motor.
He kind of helps set a tone with toughness on this team too. I mean, they've got some speed, yes, and they're not huge up front, but and guess who? Josh Willay gets there again and makes another big stop there on the sack for Park Center. It'll be 4th and a mile.
I watched him that whole play, and he just bulldozed the guy in front of him. Look at him throw his offensive card right out of the way and just says, "Go give me the football." He has had a dominant football game. He may be unblockable too. If he plays like that, this team, really could have a chance to beat anyone in their section.
So Joyce back in a punting formation here with Brooks waiting back deep. It's a low knuckleball. Brooks wanting to field it on the run, and he does at the 49-yard line. Brooks to the outside, dancing down the sideline, and he will go out of bounds at the 23. About a 28-yard return right there for Ty Brooks, and Park Center will have great field position here, to say the least, as they are at the 23-yard line of Southwest to begin. Oh, we did have a flag on the play.
What number?
We had a face mask call against Park Center.
They've got a 5-yard face mask on the defense. Still 4th down. What number? 75.
So it'll be 4th down again. So they're not going to have great field position. Looks like they're going to make them kick it again. But there on the right of your screen next to the head coach here, Donnell Kirkwood, the former Gopher bruiser running back, helping out with Southwest.
What do you think if he was playing tonight? Do you think the outcome would be any different?
Yeah, I got to believe that's a tough guy to tackle, even if they didn't get great blocking.
I'd love to see Kirkwood and Willay go at it a little bit, have a couple collisions.
So Southwest will get a chance to do it again after the penalty on Park Center. Obviously, their first down, or the penalty didn't give them anywhere near enough for a first down, but at least have a chance to make a better stop on the return. It's a very short kick, but it takes a pretty good Lakers bounce, and boy, what a change in field position. Instead of being at the 23 of Southwest, Park Center will be at their own 41-yard line. So
38-yard difference in field position.
So Park Center will get its first possession here.
Let's go. Let's put it in end zone. Elijah.
We're, not that this is the main focus, but they're right now not quite in a position to have this game be running time when we get to the 4th. So they would like to add one more score. I mean, you're not talking about running it up or rubbing it in or anything, but I think both teams right now probably would be happy if we ended up with running time, to be quite honest about it. Richards taking the handoff, a little short of the first down. Nice tackle by Cameron Romnerine there for Southwest. It's a pickup of 8.
I'll tell you, Pirates have really nice balance. When they have Richards running that little read option as the running back, he's got such good speed. And then they have Armani Hooker, who's fast, but also a little bit bigger and physical. And of course, you got Brooks on the outside, who's just explosive. It's really a nice balanced offense, and I really mean that. If they play Cooper, there's a fumble.
Altenberg picks it right back up, though, and heads upfield, and he's going to have the first down. The ball's knocked loose at the end, and Southwest might have it.
No, they're going to calm down.
Yep, you're right. Now, the referee just signaled Southwest football, but now overruled. Yeah, it has been marked. So he did signal the other way, but
we've seen a number of snaps, just poor snaps, and that one wasn't so high. Sometimes as a
I think that one's more on Altenberg.
Yeah, sometimes as a quarterback, you're so anxious to get your heads up and your eyes up to see what's going on, and you take your eye off the ball just for that split second.
The 44 hands it off to Richards. Nice cutback. And then he is met and driven back after picking up another 8 or so on that carry.
But I was saying, if they are able to run the ball like that, with that speed and that balance, I mean, you can see why they could really, obviously they beat Cooper early in the year, but give them a great game. There's another ball on the ground.
Throws it complete to Hooker. Hooker stepping by a defender. Still staying on his feet and down to the 21-yard line. He'll pick up 15 on an adventuresome play there.
Well, again, the ball's on the ground. It seems to be good luck whenever that's happened. They've made a good play out of it. But, God, you can just get the feeling with Hooker and Brooks. Every time they get the ball in space, they might be taking it for a touchdown. They're so electric. They're so great at making guys miss.
Approaching the halfway point of the third quarter here. Still 34-2 Park Center, but they're on the march here. 1st and 10 on the 22 of Southwest. Altenberg looking out to the right. Now steps it up, and he will throw to McClure. He's got it, and his knee hits down. No, it's going to be a touchdown. They'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time. A couple other close ones didn't quite go their way. McClure, I thought for a second, had maybe touched his knee down before he was in, but not quite.
Well, and a really nice job again by Altenberg. Looked like he was going to run, kept his head up, saw McClure over. Yeah, his knee was definitely down. His knee hit. He got the benefit of the doubt on that call. But a nice job. Altenberg's been really impressive. I don't know what his QBR would be if we were to add it up, Jay, but it's got to be extremely high as he's been very efficient, had a couple of nice runs, able to pick some of those fumbles up, keeping his eyes downfield, able to hit it for a touchdown. Elijah McClure.
Lee kicks the extra point through, and so with 5:44 to go in the third, it becomes 41-2 Park Center as you see Altenberg throwing on the run. McClure, the consensus in the truck along with us up here is that his knee did hit before he got in. However, yeah, it looked like that left knee just briefly went down. He did a good effort, though, to keep it going. And
even when he dove, he was still short of the end zone.
I think his elbow hit, too. But anyway.
Referee saw that running time score and said, that might be a touchdown, young man.
I think that's a possibility. Well, and not to joke about it, but especially when you see a couple of fairly serious injuries in the game too, it kind of adds to the feeling of let's just get this one through. Yeah.
No, and at this point, what positive can you get out of the game? You just want to play safe and get out of here feeling good, feeling confident, moving forward.
It's kind of one of those really unanswerable questions, but we'll find out a little bit. Does the bye help Cooper, or did getting to play tonight and put up some points help Park Center? I mean, there's really no way to quantify it. I mean, just because regardless of the outcome next week, I don't think you can really say that's the reason
because of the
why.
Bye, because I was always a fan of playing. I think you play, you're always sharp. There's nothing like game. Even a game where you're dominating, that's still better than practice. You're getting your juices flowing. Your attention to details different. Your preparation's different. I was always a big fan of playing to get ready.
And this one's going to be trouble, but it bounces out of bounds. It will be Southwest football. Is trying to recover it. There was Jack Walker, number 55, and he was unable to come up with it. That's a tough play to field this bouncing ball. And right here, he probably should have just fallen on it. And there you see, nearly recovered by PC.
I've never seen anyone struggle so much as I have the Lakers of being able to receive the kickoffs. That's about the third or fourth one that's been bouncing and bouncing kind of nonchalantly on the ground. They're fortunate that ball went out of bounds and it wasn't recovered by the Pirates.
Be 1st and 10 Lakers at the 4-yard line. I think with this score, we're safe to say, Pirate fans, that we will be over at Cooper next week to see the Pirates and Cooper rematch. It was a battle the first time Park Center won on the Hawks home field, and both teams have had really strong seasons, and we'll see what the rematch holds, and our 12 crew will be there. Handoff going up the middle, and that one is stopped for a short loss as Kalan taking that handoff. She's showing some toughness here by coming back. Boy, with being down big and a painful injury, and he could have, I don't think anybody would have faulted him if he said, I can't go anymore, but he's out there.
No, and he's a senior. He's one of the leaders on this team, so he knows this might be his last ever competitive football game, so he's given it everything he's got, and you certainly appreciate that. Kind of a different formation here.
They've got really kind of wing backs almost, and switching up offenses a little bit, and the handoff here on the spin. Lawson tackling Cody Villahong there.
That was kind of a slow developing play into the end zone. You worry about something like that with the safety, but able to turn it up the field and get some positive yards out of it.
I think Southwest really kind of going to plan B a little bit here. They've been under heavy siege and now going to what appears to be a very run-heavy look here and much tighter formation. Right side with it and out over the 10 to about the 13 goes Remnarine there for Southwest. It'll not be enough for a first down.
Yeah, direct snap to Remnarine there and a nice run. Going to be just short, and looks like Southwest is keeping their offense on the floor. Going to try going for it here on the field.
I guess in some ways, why not? And maybe they'll remember back earlier in the game, they got Park Center to jump off sides twice.
Say, maybe they're going to try to go with a hard count.
Joyce going to take the snap and run for it himself, and he's going to be very close to the first down. See where they'll spot it here.
Yeah, he got it.
Yep, move the chains, they say, as they spot the nose of the ball right to the 15. So I don't know. At this point, it's, you know, why not go for it? But still a nice run to be able to pick it up for Joyce.
He had a nice second effort, too. He had some contact there behind the line of scrimmage. He kept those big legs moving and trucked through and got a big first down. We've seen him, the Lakers convert a number of fourth downs in this game, a lot of them coming on that first drive of the ball game.
And a short pickup there. Running back right side was Remnarine for the Lakers, as they have gone a massive switch in offensive philosophy here late, down by this big margin. They've been going mainly 4 and 5 wide all game long, and now really switching to a
more of a power
running attack here. And I think they're realizing, I mean, we're just putting our quarterback in harm's way here. Let's just see if we can't get something going this way.
And Remnarine actually came into the game as their leading receiver on the year with 17 catches, over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now that he's getting some direct snaps to him and being featured as a running back.
Flag down on the play. Villahong cutting it back, and Mansfield able to wrap him up. I think it's going to be a penalty on the Lakers. It's an illegal motion or legal procedure penalty. Looks like they might take the penalty here.
Lakers, over 5.
2:14 to go here in the third, and Park Center leading at 41-2.
Down. Come on, scoot up. Set. Hit.
Fakes the handoff. Now Joyce throwing, and it is intercepted. Macklin with the pick, and it will be PC football inside the 30.
A nice ball fake right there. Just kind of a different throwing motion. Devin Joyce almost throwing a little sidearm. That ball hung in the air, and Macklin with a great interception. I thought maybe he was going to pitch it back to Hooker. Looked like he was calling for the ball, but maybe would have had a better chance to, you know how they like to get the return after the interception, but I tell you, this defensive secondary, they are just relentless as far as pursuing that football when it's in the air.
Pretty good tackle by McCauley there to not allow a big return anyway. Altenberg will take the snap here for PC. Minute 45 to go in the third. Handoff goes to Richards. Spun out of one tackle, but then the rest of the posse arrives, and he will be down at the 26, so out of 3-yard pickup.
When it seems like on every shotgun, too, the quarterback, Altenberg or Hooker, whoever is back there, is having to reach way above their head to get that ball. So that's, you know, we've mentioned it, but when you're playing against maybe a little bit better, more physical defensive line, you can't afford to have that timing off, having to jump up and get the football every time.
2nd and 7, handing it off to Richards. Gets through the tackle. Richards bouncing it to the outside. Trying to get to that end zone, gets a late block, and he is in for the touchdown. 26-yard run for Malcolm Richards.
Wow. I thought a number of times he was going to get tackled. Then how about Amani Hooker, number 3, sprinting down the field. Watch right at the end, right before he gets in. Here's a couple of missed tackles. There's Hooker. Watch Hooker come running in here, just clearing that extra defender, allowing his teammate, allowing Richards to get into the end zone. What an unselfish play by Hooker. What a great run by Richards.
Lee going to attempt another extra point here for Park Center, and I think that, you know, later in the game you get worn down a little bit for Southwest too. The tackling wasn't especially good on that one, and you know, you see this margin. I mean, it's understandable. Lee's kick is up, and it is good. So with 57 seconds left in the third, it becomes 48-2 PC.
Well, look at tremendous cutback by Richards. That play's designed to the right. He sees, cuts back to the left, pointing out his blockers down the field. And here's, you can see Amani Hooker sprinting down, taking care of one last defender on the way for his teammate, Malcolm Richards, in the end zone. Big time touchdown run.
I want to mention the last time we were over here for the game, very early in the game, Rondé Berry, the running back, was injured and out still with that. So, you know, Richards getting a good opportunity, but, you know, Rondé has been a big part of this program too, and unfortunate that we're not able to see him out here tonight.
And we've seen the #1 offense and defense for Park Center stay into the football game. You know, and that's kind of the question we debated at halftime. How long do you keep them in there? You know, we heard Coach Strong say he's lost games when they've had a lead like that. I have not seen a team lose a lead of 48-2 going into the fourth quarter. So
Lee will boot it away here for Park Center. And fielded on the back pedal. Ball juggled just a bit by Nash. Trying to find some space, and he is spun down to the turf. Good special teams tackle by Nacklin, who had that interception not too long ago. And so the Lakers will start it pretty deep in their own territory. 47 seconds left. Of course, once we get to the fourth quarter, it will become running time.
Park Center getting some of their second and third team guys in there.
Although quite a few who aren't too. And I think it makes a difference too when you think about you don't want to put guys in there that aren't really ready to be in this type of situation too. I mean, you know, certain really giant schools are probably going to have second stringers who are really varsity ready, whereas, you know, depending on your program or whatnot, you maybe don't have that across the board. So ball juggled there on the snap as Ramnarine just decided I better get on this thing, and so they'll be faced with a second and very long, second and about 18, under a half minute to go in the third quarter now. I think they'll have to snap it once more, at least before the quarter ends. Kind of a slow move up to the line here.
I like that direct snap there to the up back. Kind of a little trickery there, but a nice run. Nice tackle, but a big game for Chris Collin.
We get to the end of the third quarter here, and Park Center leading it by a score of 48-2. The fourth quarter coming up as PC looks to nail down a win and advance to the semis.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
And welcome back as we have reached the fourth quarter, something we thought we might never reach here. Let's slow down here as obviously this game no longer in doubt. Park Center trying to wrap up this W here and get set to face Cooper in the semifinals, a 2 versus 3 seed.
Well, and those players, from both sides, they're going to know each other. They obviously live by each other, play lots of sports against each other. Maybe don't have the greatest liking for each other, so should be a heck of an atmosphere, a heck of a game.
No gain on that one's going to bring, or a short loss, in fact. It's going to bring up 4th down and long here for Southwest. See if Southwest is intending to punt here. Looks like it. Joyce is their punter as well, so it's not quite as immediately evident. Boy, I tell you, the Lakers do not have a lot of players over their bench, do they?
I'm just looking over. Looks like they only got about 25 players.
Oh, and a gamble there that did not quite pay off. Running into the middle of traffic there was Elijah Mathis, but he is rescued there by his teammate Michael Bailey, making a recovery there for PC, and so the Pirates will keep possession there. Running up into a crowd there and didn't come up with the catch. So at the 38 is where Park Center will start. Looks like Nelson Cruz will be the quarterback now for PC, as they've got much of their second unit in, although not all of it. Yeah. They got Hooker and
Brooks
still in there. Tyrus Vang coming in late there for PC now. Cruz looking to throw. Cruz throwing deep downfield, looking for Hooker. He's got it for the touchdown. 38-yard scoring play for Park Center as Cruz gets a chance to throw to a top wideout and makes it happen.
What a nice play. How about that? Giving the sophomore, Nelson Cruz, he comes in, he says, hey, all I got to do is give him a chance to make a play. He throws it up in the air, and a very good athlete, Amani Hooker, just is able to go up and above Levi Wilson, the cornerback. Only a sophomore over there, giving up quite a bit of weight, quite a bit of height, and safe to say quite a bit of athleticism on that play. But that just looked almost too easy, Jay.
Well, and at the risk of offending Park Center, why are you doing that? There's no reason for that in the fourth quarter. You're stomping on this team already.
So the clock stops on scoring, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing the football still with your first team still in there. But a nice throw, nice play by the sophomore, Nelson Cruz. I mean, you get in the game, you want to have an opportunity, and you certainly, all three quarterbacks, Hooker in the beginning, Altenberg, I thought, had a very efficient, good, crisp game, and then you bring in the sophomore, Nelson Cruz, and he's 1 for 1 for 38 yards and a touchdown. Hats off to the Laker fans, still braving this game, and Starting to get a little chilly out there, but doing a nice job. For Minneapolis Southwest, can you get something positive going? Can you get maybe one big return, a big pass play, something kind of fun that you can end this game on a positive note going into the offseason?
Here's Galland running it back on the return to the right, and he gets knocked down at about the 23-yard line here. So Lakers getting the football back.
Every time he gets the ball and he runs, he looks like he's in so much agony and pain, but he keeps coming out there and keeps getting the ball. So he's giving it everything he's got for his teammates.
Tell him to keep that clock running.
Now we're seeing that 4 wide receiver set that we saw a lot in the first half.
Hand off here and a nice stop. Wow. Park Center getting plays from all over the place, even backups in as Samson Bella tripping up Galland there, and he looks like he's shaking up a little bit again here.
Yeah, he's doing his best Willet impersonation right there. He's been watching number 75 all night, and he gets his chance. He's able to get back in the backfield. We see a new quarterback as well for the Lakers, Charlie Joyce, who is Devin Joyce's cousin, also only a sophomore. So we'll see if he gets a chance to throw the football.
And a little short hopper. There's that pass. Didn't seem they were on the same page route-wise there. Peel was actually the closest to it.
Yeah, and I thought Charlie, he had some pressure, right? And wasn't able to follow through. I think his arm got stopped a little bit short, which is why maybe that ball went right into the ground. But looked like he has a little bit stronger arm, able to get a little bit of velocity on the football.
So 3rd and about 15 here for the Lakers. Here's Joyce looking to throw and gets plenty under this one, but it is going to be intercepted. Park Center, yet another pick. Grabbed here by Mathis. Mathis has a chance to go, and he will. Touchdown. Mathis running that one back strong, and Park Center adds to the lead.
That wasn't a bad throw by Charlie Joyce. He just led him a little bit too much, and Mathis doing a nice job playing center field, able to get underneath it. But I tell you, this Park Center team, I don't know what they do in practice, but they must practice interceptions into touchdowns. They are very good returners. In Southwest, you may be a little bit lazy, if you will, on that coverage, or kind of giving up on that. You want to at least make a play on the football. Mathis able to go untouched into the end zone. Yeah, doesn't matter which Joyce is playing quarterback, very similar results tonight, Jay. And you wonder too not saying that the Lakers would have won this football game, but you wonder if the outcome and some of these interceptions would have been a little different had Brendan Hawkins not gotten hurt.
Lee on to attempt the extra point here, and his kick is up, and it is good. It's good on now to Ali.
Hey guys, anybody loves a pick six, and Park Center was loving it, but Coach Strong had some strong words for Mathis. He said, you need to score with class. There is no showboating in a game like this. So he got his head straight, but this team is still loving all these interceptions.
60-point advantage here for Park Center.
So what's your gut feeling heading into Osseo Park Center next week?
Cooper Park Center?
Or Cooper, excuse me, yes.
It was a close football game last time, and I would think that the odds are pretty good that it will be again. I mean, hard to say. I don't know. You got the incentive for Park Center feeling like maybe they were slighted on the seeding, but then again, Cooper got beat by them, so they're going to be
bad taste in their mouth. Yeah.
Twice as fired up for that one. I don't know. I expect a good football game.
Do you expect Monty Hooker to play quarterback in that game, or do you like the offensive look better with Carl Altenberg back there, giving him a little bit more weapons on the outside?
Boy, they look pretty good tonight in that way, with either, but Altenberg certainly played well. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see too.
Yeah, the other difference too, I think Cooper has athletes, if you will, to match up to an extent with Park Center on the outside. They have other guys that have pretty good speed and quickness to maybe help neutralize Brooks and Hooker as best as you can.
Lee booting it away. Caland for the second time tonight, running up and having that one bounce right off him, and he has to take it at the 10. Chase back the other way, and he is going to be in lots of trouble here. He fights his way back to the 10, but that one, if things had gone better, would have been out at least to the 30, but unable to field that one clean.
Well, you know what's funny? I was watching them warm up, Jay, before the game, and their kicker, when they first got there, was kicking off to all these guys. They were having trouble catching those as well. So it's something that I think they've struggled with. I don't think it's an aberration or that they're misplaying the ball. I think that's something that they need to really work on is, being able to get that right depth. It's like playing outfield as a baseball player. You got to figure out kind of where your angle and what the height and trajectory of the ball is, but they've certainly done a really poor job of that tonight.
So they will start right on their 10-yard line here with 6:45 to go and counting. Again, we are very much into running time with a 60-point margin.
I think when you're up 60 in the fourth quarter, that it's fast forward time. They actually
yeah, the official was making sure they knew up here, keep it running on a couple of these occasions too. And they lose the ball. Joyce looked like he was trying to take it back when he made that handoff, but they do. Looks like it maybe was recovered up front there by the lineman Jack Walker. So Joyce apparently did indeed lose it there, Charlie Joyce. They'll lose about 4 on that one.
This would deeply be appreciated by administration and staff. Thank you.
In that next round, the semifinal round will be Tuesday of next week. So, and again over at Cooper for PC versus Cooper.
There's a bad snap. Ball goes underneath. That's going to be a safety.
Well, that is one thing that Southwest had that PC didn't prior to that is a safety, and now they have that too. And looks like we have an injury perhaps here. No, maybe not.
It actually didn't look like it was a high snap. It just looked like it was too fast for Charlie Joyce to get his hands on. He does a nice job. At least he recovers it, allowing a safety rather than giving up a potential touchdown. I think Park Center is going to hang on here, Jay.
Yeah, way to go out on a limb there.
I've seen a lot of football games. I don't know if I've ever seen a game with that's so disparaging, so different as far as how just execution and effort and play is.
You're on this, right? You want to do it? Go. Yeah, 9, 10. Yeah. Yeah, I need.
You think Park Center will attempt to pass on this offensive series?
I'm not going to predict. I don't know. In my opinion, they shouldn't, but.
Move up! Move up! Right there! Yeah, put Chris in. Hope we don't get it.
Kicking from the 20, of course, after the safety here, much like we saw earlier in the game that Park Center had to.
You gotta take it back.
It was only 64 points ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay.
Oh, that's what you better take this one back.
I guess if you're Southwest, you could at least say, we did have a lead at one point, which, when you see the final margin, you wouldn't have expected that, but that was true. And, for a portion of that first quarter, I'm not saying they were dominating or anything, but they definitely kind of had things going the way they would like, and converting a couple of those fourth downs and some nice plays by Hawkins before he got hurt. And
well, you got to remember too that Park Center scored a touchdown on that quarterback sneak on the last play of the first quarter. So for the most part, it was 8-2 at the end of the, going into the last few seconds of the first quarter. So it was very much a football game. And I thought again, when Brooks got going on a couple of receptions, that kind of jump-started that offense. And then I think when Brennan Hawkins, obviously you're losing your quarterback, but I think they lost a lot of their spirit too when that happened.
And we're going to have a false start call here against Park Center. So pushing back 5, and that's often something you'll see when you got, a second or third team in there, maybe not used to playing together as much.
No, but these kids, when you get an opportunity, you don't want to be the one that's making the mistakes, at least the mental mistakes. Physically, if you get beat or you can't, you're not strong enough, those are things you live with. But mental mistakes, knowing the snap count, knowing where to line up, knowing motion if there is any, those are things you gotta have down.
Edwards on the run, and a pretty decent one it was, as he'll pick up that first play penalty yardage plus a few more in about 8 as we tick down toward the 2-minute mark here. And Park Center going to win for the 7th time this season. It becomes 7-2 as they get ready to play over at Cooper on Tuesday night. Cruz is going to look out to throw, and he's able to get it to his receiver, and then the ball ripped loose. And it is ultimately still recovered by Park Center, looks like, as Jason Comstock made the catch, had it knocked loose, and then got it back.
He had a nice big bruising run. He was very physical on it. And then he just let go of that football. Watch this bounce. Jay comes right back up to him. See a nice job getting it ripped away there. Look at that ball bounce and stay right between his legs. He uses his legs and his feet to keep control of that heads-up play.
Under a minute to go now in this one. Cruz rolling left, and he's going to take off. Cruz into the Lakers secondary and finally thrown down inside the 30 at about the 29.
He's got some speed too. He went north to south in a hurry right there. He's only a sophomore, but you got to figure he's been watching a couple of the best, and Hooker and Altenberg and Brooks, how they handle the ball when they get it. And he made his decision, and he went very, very quick, very explosive.
Down to what could be the final play, a merciful ending finally here, 64-2.
We got Cruz as a sophomore. You got to figure Altenberg and Hooker are both seniors. He's probably the guy, looking to get the job next year. So, pretty valuable reps for him.
And that should be the final carry of the game here as Park Center is going to win this one here tonight by a final of 64-2. And we will come back to wrap things up here in just a moment from Park Center High School as the Pirates advance here in the Section 5 tournament.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
Welcome back here to Park Center High School. Lopsided one to start the playoffs for the Pirates, and a couple of the PC guys who really lit things up tonight down there with Allie.
All right, thanks, guys. We got defense and offensive sides down here. I've got Josh Willay to start on defense tonight. We're just going to call you the sacks and tackles guy. Quite a few of both. Why don't you walk us through what made you so productive on the defensive end tonight?
Coming in the game today, I just watched lots of film, and I caught on to the offensive tendencies, and it was pretty easy once I caught on to it, and we just got it rolling.
What's your favorite part about sacking a quarterback?
It's just, I don't know, it's just the spotlight on it. It's just, I got to him, it's a big loss, and it's great.
Big defensive effort by your team tonight, holding this team to 2 points. Talk about that effort as a team.
We just felt coming into the game that we were the dominant team, and we felt that having them score just that 2 points was disrespectful to us. We didn't even want it. So when they scored that 2 points, that was it, and we told ourselves no more.
All right, Josh, we thank you on the defensive end. We'll switch over to the offensive end of things. 3 touchdowns in the second quarter for you, 2 on offense, 1 with a pick 6. That second touchdown on offense, 69-yard run. I wrote in my notes, speed with like 8 E's. Where's that speed come from?
Off-season training, that's where it comes from. I work at Welly Fast. Bill Welly, he knows how to get you right. He can get you real fast and breakaway speed.
Talk about those 3 scores, putting up 3 touchdowns back to back to back.
It was just a great plays, great blocking, great play calling. It just happened.
You guys moved to 7-2. You're advancing in the playoffs. What does a huge victory like this say about your team as you guys advance in the playoffs?
We're changing the way people look at Park Center. Best record since 1978. We're gonna just keep it rolling, do what we've been doing.
And you guys are looking to probably play Cooper next week. That's probably a big rivalry. You guys like to play that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be a hard-hitting game, disciplined game. We're gonna come out and play.
All right, we got Brooks, we had Willay. We thank you guys. We'll send it back up to the booth.
Thanks very much, Allie, and congratulations to the Pirates. And they will take on Cooper Tuesday in the semifinals. And again, you can watch for that one on 12 Sports as well. For Ryan Iverson, Allie Arlt, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final score here from Park Center tonight. Pirates 64, Southwest 2.
Go!